Welcome back to Biz Freedom Blueprint, and it's been quite a long 30 days, and I'm hoping that you enjoyed the 30 different sessions, because the very last one we're going to talk about in our session 30 is we're going to talk about tracking your key metrics. And what are key metrics? Well, the key metrics are really the red flags that you need, the essential red flags that you need to avoid, that you need to know, so that you know whether you're succeeding or whether there's something dangerous that's ahead that you're going to be able to do it. It's like driving down the road and seeing the construction signs that you need to know. You need to be able to watch out for something. Well, how do you do that for your business? How do you set that up? And what there are is there's specific numbers that you need to track to be able to avoid that and to be able to know if you're going down the right or the wrong path. Right now, one of the biggest fatalities in business is the fact that people think that their idea is catching on and is successful, and they don't track the numbers, or they don't know what percentages is important. So you really need to take a look at that. If you, just like advertising, if you're going to advertise and you don't track the number of people that are coming in, like say if I'm advertising the newspaper and I have a distribution of 11,000 people and I spend $500 on the ad. Well, I need to know that if I get, say, 100 people responding, then that ad has cost me $5 a person. And if my average sale is only $3, well, then I know that that advertisement isn't producing for itself. And just imagine if I was able to spend that 11,000, only spend $500 and only get 3 calls. Well, then I need to have about $130 in initial sale to be able to make that pay for itself. And then that's just to pay for itself. I'm not in business just to pay for advertising. I'm in business to make a profit. So you need to be able to track specific key numbers. Okay, you need to be able to know what your sales numbers are, which is how's your advertising working, what's your conversion rate, what's your rate of being able to upgrade to be able to upgrade, right? You also need to know the financial numbers. If you let go of your finances, then they'll turn around and swallow and be able to swallow you alive. It's not just about keeping your costs down and trying to make a margin. You need to be able to see see down the road, so you know that maybe there's a pitfall that you might run into that'll just knock you right out of business. Now, what are the things that you need to avoid? You need to avoid over analysis. And this is what I look like when I've started looking at numbers. It just overwhelmed me. There's too much. So what happens? You can bury yourself in minutia, and what you can do is you can get paralysis by analysis. And there are a number of companies that I know that do that. They try to track the sales from each customer to be able to see, okay, how do I improve on this customer? I'm actually I worked for a company in the past where they had an operations manager where she was so busy trying to pour over and produce reports that she had lost track of what her staff was doing. She lost track of the ability to market because she's worried so much about those numbers that she wasn't able to create the numbers that she needed to put in the reports. Right. So remember, business is about activity, but you can't get paralysis by analysis. And what you need to do is you need to analyze and think of who is responsible for each element of the process. If you're responsible for 100% of it, well, then you need to start looking, especially if you're getting into trying to find business freedom, is to be able to delegate and make other people responsible for these numbers, whether they're people or whether they're systems. And then what you need to do is, after each you've figured that there's a subordinate system or a subordinate person, whether you're doing it automated like by virtual program or by a specific person, you need to limit the number of metrics, the number of numbers that you need to a limit of 3. Right. So if I'm looking at sales, say I'm looking at I have a salesperson that works on commissions. I want to see a certain number of things. I want to see how many people that the person is getting to talk to, what's the sales conversion rate, and what's the average dollars per sale. Right. Stick to 3, and you're going to allow the people to be able to work on what they find is important. If you try to get them to find 30 different numbers and track 20 different results, they're going to be so buried in what they have to do, they don't know what's important. So focus on what the key or the important metrics are, and you're going to avoid that paralysis by analysis and make sure that your company is a succeeding company and not one that's just all tied up and trying to perform its best. Now, thank you for joining our 30-day Biz Freedom Blueprint. I would love to hear from you, and please, go to the bizfreedomblueprint.wordpress.com. That's our blog. Comment on any of the videos. I'd love to hear what is the most valuable points that you've taken away from this session. What you plan on doing with the information that you received, and any comments, whether positive or negative. Place them on the site online. I'm going to get back to as many of you as I can. Every person that leaves a comment on the blog will receive special access. I've got some bonus materials that I'm really excited about. They're going to be launched on our Biz Freedom Blueprint membership site, which is going to go live shortly. I don't want to date our sessions here, so it's going to go live shortly, if it isn't already. And you're going to get free access to that for 30 days. After that, there'll be a small membership fee if you want to stay on top of everything here. And I'm going to pick the very top 5 each month, and I'm going to have some raffles, some draws as well for people who aren't in the top 5. And what those top 5 are going to receive is they're going to receive this entire Biz Freedom Blueprint 30-day program with special notes on CD-ROM delivered to them in the mail, and they're also going to get a 100% complimentary business analysis and recommendation session with me. I usually, if anybody's looking at purchasing this, it's usually available anywhere between $297 to $497, based on how busy I am. Obviously, if I'm busier, I'm going to charge more for it. And you can find out all that information at bizfreedomblueprint.com, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Again, the advanced DVDs, go to bizfreedomblueprint.com, pick them up right now, and what you're going to find is that in the advanced section on session number 30, we're going to talk about the necessary metrics and what they mean to your business. So we gave an overview on what you need to do with your metrics. We're going to talk about specific numbers that you need to track, and that if you're missing them. So if you're sure that you're getting them all, or if you think that you might be missing one or two, this one session is worth the whole cost of that, the whole investment that you'll be making in our Business Freedom Blueprint Advanced program. So go there today, and I thank you very much for joining us for this 30 days, and keep track of us at bizfreedomblueprint.com.